Bonjour, bonjour, c'est dimanche, le 29 mars 2020. It is the 5th Sunday of Lent, and I've signed my attestation declaring that I'm going to go and visit a vulnerable person. I do smile a little bit about that. The person I'm going to visit is, by all definitions, vulnerable. However, she is more resilient than I am. Yesterday, I went to the shops. That is allowed, of course. We need food. And so this morning it's a trip to take her some of the shopping that I got, and to get me out of the house and stop me going mad, or madder perhaps. The weather today has taken a bit of a turn. It's cold, the wind is blowing. The car says it's only 6 degrees. Well, that's okay. Going to be indoors for most of today. Yesterday, besides going shopping, I had quite a long chat with the mayor, Martine Pro. She owns the piece of ground at the back of my garden, and she was out there driving her tractor. The mayor drives a tractor. She was cutting her grass and generally doing some work. We social distanced. We stood and shouted at each other about 20 yards away. And we discussed the current situation. It's a great shame that at the moment we are pretty effectively shut. Normally I say to you, you must come and visit. You must, it's beautiful here. It is beautiful here. But at the moment, we're all sort of hunkering down and staying indoors and generally behaving ourselves in a very careful sort of way. But we both hope that when this current crisis is behind us, we hope that we can return to being our welcoming and receptive sort of people, go back to shaking hands. It's going to be very difficult after this coronavirus pandemic. We've got to look forward to the future. She was looking after her ground. I was working in the garden, getting potatoes planted and tidying things up. And hopefully come July, come August, hopefully we want to be back open for business and welcome you all back. In the meantime, today is Lent. It is the 5th Sunday of Lent. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the first reading for today comes from the book of Ezekiel. I think that's right. I also think I'm about to find out. Well, that was a very enjoyable visit. We are allowed out, but we are expected and required to think about why we went out. I have no problem with justifying the trip that I made this morning or today, and of course now it's time to go back. Retour chez moi. as you can see, the roads are just empty. The sky isn't. There's these odd birds. I'm not quite sure what that is. We just say it's a big bird. It's one of those big birds that eats little birds and rabbits and things. And we come back towards Azay-le-Ferron. As you can see, leaves are coming into the trees. It really is a beautiful place, even on a day like today. It's a little bit grey, it's a little bit chilly. It's only 9 degrees. That's not cold, but it's not as warm as it has been for the last few days. I'll be upset if there are no police on the roundabout, because, you know, I've signed my form and I've got all my paperwork with me. Always feel a bit cheated when no one looks at it, don't you? No, there were no gendarmes on the roundabout. Oh well. Mind the speed bump. One of the few shops we've got here in Azay-le-Ferron, we've got a pharmacy, but then with the age of the people that live here, I guess they are kept quite busy. The staff in there, incidentally, they do speak some English, so, you know, those of you that don't speak any French at all, if you do come here and you need paracetamol or whatever, the pharmacy will be able to look after you. I have been able to teach them some better English. They struggle with some of the peculiar words that we use in English, and last year I had a visitor who had a cough. Now, those of you that can spell the word cough might realise it's a difficult word for a French person to read and say.